Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Christy. I'm head of the reference department at the Central Branch of the Dougherty County Public Library. And we want to start a series at the library that we're going to call Adulting 101. These are tasks that you probably didn't learn while you were at school, and some people's parents might teach them, some learn from other various things, but they're good skills to have as you're growing up and as you're getting out on your own. I know here in Albany, I've lived here for about 3 years, and in that 3 years, I've had at least 3 times that I have come out of a building to my van to see that my tire is completely and totally flat. So something that I was glad I knew how to do was how to make sure my spare was okay and how to change that tire. So today we're going to focus on that, changing a tire. So I've welcomed you to my home with my lovely van here so that I can show you the basics of doing that. Some of the things that you might want to know before you get started. First of all, you want to know if you have a spare tire on your vehicle, anywhere in your vehicle. And the spare tires are usually not a full-size tire. It's a little bit smaller tire, often called a dummy tire. And they have special restrictions. They can't go over 55, or I think it's 45 miles per hour. They also only last for a very limited amount of miles. So when you put one on there, that's just kind of an emergency tire to get you to where you can go get yours fixed. I've had a couple of cars here. In my van, I looked in the book and saw the tire is actually kept underneath the van. And there's a procedure to get it out, which when I grab the jack, I will show you kind of how you can get it out. It's a lot of cranking and turning, and I'm not going to go through it all here today because we want to learn to change the tire. And my son's car, they have this Honda, and in that Honda, the tire is usually kept in the trunk underneath the carpet. So you'll want to know where that is. And if you've never seen your spare, you probably want to get that out because it can dry rot, it can go flat, and you don't want to be stuck at TJ Maxx when it's closing with a flat tire and your spare dead. It's happened to me. So without any further here, we're going to go ahead and get started. So here in the back of my van is where the jack is kept, and usually these are somewhere with the car as well. And this is what I will need to lift the car up. It also has on it the crowbar that you will need, or not crowbar, I'll have to think of the name and put it in here, but what you'll need to loosen the lug nuts on there. So mine in this van is over on this side. It's kind of here in this little door. You can tell I have kids by the random things in my trunk. If I just change these little knobs and pull this down, I've got a sack in here. And this should be what I need to change a tire. So inside of here, this big one is the actual jack. I'll show you. Which is just this. Also in the bag, I have what'll be the handle for the jack, which is this part, and it folds out here. This fold out part is the part that I'm going to use to remove the lug nuts. It is also in my van the tool that you need to let down the spare tire. So today, this is the tire I'm going to focus on, and if you look, we notice it's kind of bulging here at the bottom. I'm pretty sure that my tire's got a nail or something in it, and if I leave it alone long enough, I'm going to come out and find it flat as a pancake. As it is right now, I could probably drive it to the next gas station, put some air in it. In fact, I have a pump here. I'll put some air in before I get done. But for the purpose of our video, it's the one I'm going to take off. So step 1 and 2 can kind of be interchanged here. But the two things that need to happen before you start lifting that car up is, one, you'll need to put on your permanent brake, the hard brake, the locking brake. Otherwise, when you start lifting your car up, it'll get up so high and then it will just like roll back without that parking brake on. So first step, we want to make sure that parking brake is on. Second step, these lug nuts tend to be incredibly tight. And so the first thing I do, as I call it breaking the nut, is I just get them loose so that I can undo them once I get the car up in the air. And that way I'm not trying to loosen them up with the car rocking around where it's going to fall off. Because the stand doesn't have a lot of room to hold the car up. Now that all of the tires are loose, I'm going to take a minute, make sure my parking brake is on, and I will be right back to show you how we're going to lift it. So here is my jack, and I'm about to stick it underneath the car. And I wanted to show you, first of all, if we notice, both sides when I flipped it around are different. This side just has a hinge, and when I flip it to this side, I notice I have a nut on the end. This is the side I want sticking out that I can get to. The other thing is, how do I know whether it's top or bottom? Well, the main clue to me is if I see these warning stickers, they're probably going to be put where I can see them, and I'm not going to see them on the bottom of it. So we're going to heed the warning stickers. The next thing we're going to need to do is find where we're going to put it underneath the car. I am looking here underneath my car. And if I'm out here, there's the door, and I'm coming down underneath. This first part here is plastic. And this plastic part, I'm not going to want to put the jack on because that's going to crack the plastic. But if I go just a little bit further right here, this is metal. So it's going to hold it a little better. So I'm going to place my jack underneath here where the metal part is versus the plastic and work on getting the car up. All right, my tire will now move a little bit, which means it's up off the ground. So the next thing I can do is remove the lug nuts. So now that all the bolts are out, I also got to skip a small step in this. I don't have a hubcap on mine. Some of you guys will have a hubcap, and so you'll just want to take that off. It's a good place to keep the nuts so you don't lose them. And so now it should be set that I can just pull the tire off as such. So I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to try to figure out why my tire is losing air, and I'll be right back to show you how to stick it back on. Well, I was examining my tire after I got it off, and I just thought I would show you that sure enough, right here is a roofing nail inside my tire. So for that little nail, I'm going to take it and get it plugged so I can get it back on my car. Plugging doesn't cost more. I think it's usually less than $10 to get a tire plugged at a tire place. So we'll do that and I'll be back. All right, everybody, I'm back and I've got my tire now. It's full of air and I'm ready to put it back on the car. But a problem I tend to have when I take it off is I only raise it up high enough to get the tire off of the car. And now that it's full of air, it's going to sit a little higher. So now I've got to raise the car up just a little bit higher so that I can align the bolts with the tire so I can put the lug nuts back on. So here we've lifted the tire back up. It is now back on the nuts or on the bolts. And so now we need to put the lug nuts back on there. So I take the handle back off my jack so I can put these back on. Some people will tell you not to put them on in order, to put them on in a star shape. And I think this is to keep them from cracking the frame of your tire. I may have to research and let you know in the comments later why that is. I'm going to tighten them a little bit on here like this, but I'll save the final tightening again for when it's on the ground. So I'm just tightening it until it gives me resistance here. And now all that's left is for me to remove the jack, and then I can go ahead and take my car out again and I'm ready to go. Finally, we have a lot of things at the library that can help you with your car support needs to help you do some DIY stuff from any age. First of all, we have Chilton's Auto Manuals, and those are available on our website. And that will show you the manual for several different cars. It'll tell you the labor expected time for different repairs. It'll show you some different repairs and manuals. Works a little bit better in YouTube because you can put it specifically for your car and you won't be pulling up all the other ones. Another thing we have is driverstest.org, and this is under driving tools on our website. And if you go on there, it has a quick instruction on how to change your tire, as well as other driving tips and hints that can help you out quite easily. So I am going to leave you for today, and I wish you all good luck and hope that you don't have to change your tire on the side of the road. But if you do, that you be prepared. Thank you.